Thank you for being here. Is that okay if I do a selfie with you first? So please make a face like you are happy to be here. I do it before the session, so you are still happy. Cool, thank you very much. So thank you for coming. We are going to talk about the new GraphQL Wire Adapter for LWC. So my name is Fabien Taillon. I'm a Salesforce MVP for 8 years now. I'm CTO at Texay, which is a French consulting company. I'm also running the Paris developer group for like 10 years now. So I'm part of the team bringing French Touch Dreaming, which is the same kind of event than London Calling, but in Paris. It happens on November 30 this year. So tickets are online if you want to join us. And I like to speak at various events. I'll be at your Dreaming next week. So if you're there too, we'll meet again. You can follow me on Twitter and look at our blog. Twitter is the best place to contact me if you have any question after that you will think in a few days or whatever. So I'm available on Twitter. So add me, DM me, and I will answer whatever question you may have. So what is GraphQL? So GraphQL it was created by Facebook like almost more than 10 years back. And the idea behind GraphQL is that, well, today when you want to access some data, well, we'll talk about Salesforce, of course, but you have existing APIs today that you can use to get information about, I don't know, your account, your contacts, or whatever other information you need to get. So lots of APIs are available, but what if you need to get information, combine information from several types of records? Well, you need to call all these existing API individually, which may not be first handy, more code, and also, well, it will be more, it will take more resources to call 3 APIs instead of just one. So what is GraphQL? GraphQL is an API that lets you send a query to your server to get some relationship, etc., filter whatever you want, and get the data back in the exact format and specific stuff that you want only. So it's only one request with your query, and everything will get back. And what is pretty cool is that it's self-documented, so I'll show you just after. So you can know exactly what you can call or can't call from the API itself. So the idea today is not to talk about GraphQL in itself, but to see the actual implementation of the wire adapter that Salesforce just made. So just a very quick slide. I assume that most of you know what a wire adapter is. Is there people that are not doing any LWC here? Okay, I guess everyone. So just a very quick slide to remind you what is a wire adapter. It's something that you will call from your code, so you can see in the snippet just below. You just import it with one line, call it with the second line, and that's it. You will get data. It's super simple. You don't need any Apex, or you don't need to write anything. And also, the very good thing is that there is a shared cache, meaning that if you get some information from a record and that the data is changed somewhere else, like in the Salesforce UI, your component will get notified and the information will be reflected with a new value automatically. So nothing like you call Apex, need to refresh, recall again, or whatever. It's just a few lines of code and it works out of the box. So I really love Wire Adapter, which is why I was really excited about the new Wire Adapter for GraphQL. So what is this specific wire adapter for GraphQL? So to me, that's just a game changer. I mean, really. Sometimes I talk about stuff, it's like, oh, it's new, it's exciting, and that's it. For this, I think it will really change the way you develop your LWC for Salesforce. So why? Well, first, you will be able to query any records you want. Today, when you use the previous wire adapter, like getRecord, you need to pass an ID, for instance, of the specific record you want, and you will get only one. But what if you want, I don't know, use case I have all the time is like, I want to query all the contacts of the accounts I'm in, because I want to do some stuff on them, or I want to display them in a specific way. Well, even this basic use case, I need to go through Apex to do it. So that means Apex, that means test class, And it's painful because this Apex class is basically a query. It's doing nothing. So it's a big waste of time. Search page, I'm doing a lot of search page, even basic one, like a few filters and give me some active or inactive stuff, closed opportunities or whatever. Same thing, you need to go to Apex, you need to pass some variable. You will do a test class that will just test that you can create a query manually. That doesn't make any sense. It's a full waste of time. Well, even the last one actually is pretty interesting, which is sometimes you don't exactly know the ID of the record you want to get. You know you want to get one, but you don't have the ID. And the wire get record wire adapter is using an ID as an input. Meaning if you want to know which record, even if it's one, you need to go through Apex, query stuff, get back to the ID, and ask to the wire adapter. So that's a little bit painful. And also, to me, it's really a big waste of time and not interesting at all. So with the GraphQL Wire Adapter, you are able to create a query with exactly what you want, with relationship, with filters, subfilters, order by, group by, whatever you want, and get it from your JavaScript without any single line of Apex. And it's the same thing as all the other wire adapter. It's using your field level security, so you won't be able to get stuff that you shouldn't have access to. Same thing, if you do it with Apex, you are supposed to check that you are not sending back to the front fields that users don't have access to. Here you don't have to worry about it. It's taken care of with a wire adapter. And I think the best thing of this thing is that it's using the same shared cache as all the other adapter. So Lightning Data Service, meaning that if you are getting like 100 records and some of the value are changing somewhere else in Salesforce, it will be reflected automatically without you having to refresh or try to call again your Apex class or whatever. So it's working out of the box, and that's pretty exciting. So what I will show you, I will do you a quick demo just after. But of course, so I don't know for you, but for me, before this, I've never used GraphQL before. To be honest, when you look at the syntax at the beginning, it's like a little bit confusing. You're like, oh, how will I be able to write a query like that? I've been using SQL and then SOQL after, but it was almost the same thing with a few different things. But I mean, it looks the same. You need to learn new syntax, but it's okay. GraphQL is completely different. You're like, wow, can I really write queries like this? So the answer is yes. And there is a good tool for that, which is, there are several, but this one is the good one. It's Altair GraphQL client. And the good thing is that you just install it. You get an access token from Salesforce, you query it, and you can try your query before using it in your LWC. So I will show you a quick demo. Basically, you get this the following URL. Everything is documented in Salesforce documentation. You just have to replace your domain and your API version. And then you can query. There is an autocomplete. And you can see there is documentation in it, so it's much easier than you think to. So I didn't like it at the beginning. And then I'm like, oh, finally, with autocomplete, it's even simpler than writing some other queries, maybe. So let's have a look. Is it too small, maybe? How can I? Not sure if I can. Can you read something, or is it too small? Maybe now it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can. I don't think. Oh yeah, that's maybe a good thing. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, the first thing is that what you need to do. What you need to do is to get an access token. So I'm using the sf.org display command to get it. That's a scratch org, so you don't need to try to steal my my credential. It will expire in a week. So I just get it from here. I think it was not fully displayed. So there are other ways to get an access token, but I think it's easier for me with the CLI. Copy paste it. Then in here, you can just add it as the authorization token, save it, and then you can just send the query. And you see that so you have the query on the left and the result on the right. So just to show you maybe in a bigger screen. So as you can see, it's very, very different from a regular SQL query. Basically, you will be able to query stuff. So there are two things for now: UI API, where you will get records, but also information about layouts or fields or description of the metadata itself. I'm focusing on the data itself. So I created a small app which is displaying a dreaming event. I'll show it to you so that you can understand what I'm doing. So this is a small demo app. The idea is just you have a dreaming event, so it will be like London's calling, and then a subset of child record, which will be London's calling from this year, last year, etc. And what I do is that you have some filters, like if it's active or not, is there the date. So for instance, you can see that you can see only events in the future. But if I change something in here, it's querying automatically to get all the records. So I have my dreaming event and dreaming event instance just below and I can query them in just one query. So if we have a look here, you can see that I'm querying dreaming event instance, and I say, okay, where event date is greater than and a value. So of course the syntax is a little bit different than what we are used to, but the logic behind is almost the same. And then what is cool is that you can get all the fields below. So for now I'm just getting the name, but if I get there, I will just copy paste on the other editor so that you can see better than that. Let's say I want to get another field, so I will say there is a. So even if you can't really read, you can see that when I tap, there is an autocomplete about existing field or relationship. So I will say there is event date, which is the date of the event. And what is pretty cool and what I like with GraphQL is that previously, let's say I want to query a date. I'm like, okay, but what format will it be? Or like for currency fields, for instance, you have some option to get them in a specific format or not. I never know what to use in SQL. I need to go back to the documentation, etc. Here it's much easier. I can just type a space, and there is something that says fill all fields. And when I type enter, it gets me this. So I know that if I can query event date, but also I can get the value, display value, and format. So first, it's super easy because I don't have to go to the documentation. But moreover, when I click to send the request, well, I can see that I will get the value here. And I can exactly see, okay, I know I have value, display value, cool, but which one do I want? I don't really have to think about it. I just see what is available, I send the query, I see the result, and I know what I can use. I also tried with some new fields. There is a new address field. I tried it and it's working fine, so it's up to date for even the new type of fields. And you can also get a relationship. So let's say I want to go to dreaming event. So there is dreaming event _ air, and then same. Can get the name, can get the value. Every time I type a letter, it autocomplete for me. I can send the request. And I don't really have to care about how to write it. So you see, if I need to get the relationship, which is dreaming event, the relationship field, and then the name, and then the value, okay, it's very different from SQL, but as you can see, as I start typing, it's autocomplete for me. So you just need to think about the first queries, how it works, and then it will be, now I find it almost easier than writing SQL, because with the autocomplete, it's super, super easy. And when you have your query ready, you just copy paste it and put it into your code. So if I have a look to the code, so basically I have my wire adapter, which is here. So I import this. So same one line of import. Then my wire is here. So it looks like sort of the wire adapter you are used to, except that the main parameter is your query. Again, you can just copy paste it from Altair. You try what you want, you look at the correct format, the field, the relationship, the filter, whatever you want, order by, you name it. You're ready, you go there, you copy paste, and then you will just get a method that you can use like with any adapter with the data getting back, and you just display it. One thing that is pretty cool is that you can use a variable, of course. So as you can see, my example, I was hard coding the date. Why did I do that? Because at the first time I didn't know what type of format the query was looking for. So instead of trying to manipulate in my LWC, I tried to hard code it in Altair. It took me like 1 minute to find the correct format. Once I was okay, I just used it in my code. And it's pretty basic. You have like a variable section. You pass to it like a JavaScript object, which is here. So in my case, I have two things. I have my isActive checkbox that you can see on my page, and I have a start date filter. So both are coming from reactive property from LWC. And here, it's through this variable attribute of the wire, it passed to the query. And then you can see, you just need to define which type of data it is. And then you add them. If you compare to the other query where the date is hard-coded, I just replace the hard-coded date by the variable, and it works out of the box. And that's reactive, meaning when I go there, as you can see, I change something, and the query reruns itself automatically. So I don't have any, like any wire adapter, it's working without you doing anything. So yeah, I'm having some filters, getting some relationship field. I can even filter stuff on the child object or the parent object. I can order by, so I selected the event date. Well, you can do a lot of things with it, so that's pretty cool. And one other thing I want to show you is, so I have another demo. So the thing is, this was in pilot and is going in beta in summer. And there are a few stuff that are going to be patched on Monday. So the code will be available on my repo on Monday because there are some breaking change between the pilot and the beta. But the thing is, here you have a wire adapter that is getting some account records. So this is my company name, for instance. And so on the left, this is the same component that is using GraphQL. And on the right, it's a basic LWC using Lightning Data Service. So I'm getting the name of the account. I can change it. And I will save it via Lightning Data Service, so no Apex, just calling JavaScript to update it. And you will see that when I save, the query on the left will be updated. So this is pretty cool because it's the same cache. There is one record, but let's say you have 100 of records. You don't have to care about, something changed, I need to refresh. Query this field here, but not here, whatever. It's the same cache as all Lightning Data Service, even with a lot of records, meaning you just don't care. You don't use Apex, you use JavaScript, you use Lightning Data Service, and it's coherent between all your components. Okay, go back to the slides. No, this one was supposed to be before, but that's okay. So yeah, this is what I've shown, that you can use easily some filters. You can use order by. You can get through relationship fields. You pass variable to it. There are a few things that are not available yet or not yet, I'm not sure. You can use pagination. So let's say if you have 1,000 records, you may not get them just in one batch. You can use pagination and get one page after another. But so far, you can't have a way to go back. So if you're on page 4, you have no way to go to page 3. that may come, I'm not sure. There is a few things like that when I tried my demo, it's not actually a limitation, it's more about GraphQL than the wire adapter in itself. Is that, let's say in my demo, I'm filtering like a date, and I would say I want something where the date is greater than something. Let's say I empty my field and there is no more value. Or rating on my account. I have hot, warm, cold. I have to select one value. If I want to say I unselect it and I get all of them, that won't work out of the box because in my criteria, I have a where rating equals something. So if the value is empty, it won't work. So then it's just a string value, so you can just create manually your query to add or remove the filter depending on your need. But there is no real way to say where rating equals something, and if it's null, give me everything. But that's more a GraphQL limitation than something with the wire. And again, you can just manually add the filter in your query string if you need it or not. And something that is super cool is that, so today there is no mutation, but it's on the roadmap. So what is mutation? I use the word mutation because it is the way it's called in the GraphQL specification. It's a way to update your record. So I think it would be super awesome because that means that you will be able to get 10 contacts from your account. I don't know, deactivate them, change whatever you want, save them back. Again, no Apex. So that would be just, to me, amazing. There is just a brand new GraphQL API on a Wire Adapter community group. It just launched, I think, last week, I think. And so you can just join the group and ask any question you want. So again, in spring, it was pilot, so you had to be in the pilot to test it. As soon as summer is live, you will be able to join. You don't have to join, I mean. You can just go to any summer sandbox and try it by yourself. So a few resources, as I said, so there is a repo. I will publish it only on Monday, Tuesday maybe, because I don't want to publish code that will break on Monday, but well, in a week it will be there. So the link, I already created the repo, it's just empty for now. And there are some other stuff like the developer guide. There is a blog post also explaining about the new GraphQL Wire Adapter and the new community group I just told you. I think with that, we are pretty good for our Q&A. So I don't know if you have any question. I think we need just a mic to.
If it's me, I can speak loudly.
I think it's because it's recorded also.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Hi. Just a question. Is there any difference in performance between using the GraphQL and maybe using Apex? Is one faster, slower?
I just did a small demo with 3 records, so I can't really say. I hope it's faster. At least you benefit from a Lightning Data Service cache, meaning also that if you are doing the same query, it won't call the server again. And also maybe, I guess it's the same as all the other Lightning Data Service stuff. If you are getting data that you're already in the cache locally, it won't call the adapter for you. Or 2 components having the same information may benefit from the shared cache, but beside that, I don't know. I hope it's faster, but.
Thanks.
The client that you showed, what was it called again?
It's Altair. I can show you again.
The Salesforce one.
No. It's not from Salesforce, but it's this. It's not from Salesforce, but when you look at Salesforce documentation, they recommend to use this one, but. I've played with this one. I assume there are some others, but.
Okay, thank you.
One of the problems I've had with using the wire service before is that the error reporting is
I
really
don't know,
terrible.
where are you?
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, with the wire service for SQL queries, the error reporting is really bad. Your component basically just fails if there's a comma
this?
out of place or something. Is it any better with this? Have you seen much error reporting of the the correctly formed?
Like meaning when you are querying a field that doesn't exist, or which kind of error?
I guess if you're passing it something that doesn't make sense, do you get an error message?
I don't know, because as I said, what I did so far, as I'm pretty new to GraphQL, I just played in Altair. So if something didn't work, I saw it in Altair immediately. And it was more a GraphQL error than something linked to the LWC. So I got the error when I was in there. So I don't know, I can try to add a field that doesn't exist, something that I pass a field that doesn't exist. Why just tell me fields undefined, for instance, but it's more the API in itself than something else. It's pretty new to me too, though, so I've been only playing in this tool. And so far, with autocomplete at least, it's easier because I just start typing and it gives me the correct format. I guess I need to use it in a real project to really understand where the pain points are. But so far, it was pretty easy to write queries with this tool.
Nice.
Hello. Is there any particular limitation with the Salesforce to use a GraphQL? Means in terms of a number of records it is returning?
Number of records?
Yeah, a number of.
That's a good question. I don't know. I need to check in the documentation. I don't have the answer right now, but it's using the UI API behind the scenes. So, well, I still don't know the answer, but it should be the same limit as the UI API. So.
Hello. This is more of a GraphQL question than the actual wire adapter. But you had edges and then nodes. Inside of nodes is where you put the fields and everything. What else can you put inside of the edges piece?
You mean here? At the top of the query?
Yeah.
So this is where you can use the documentation also. So sorry, it's a little bit small. So let's say account. So there is some information about total count and page info. And what is in page? It's like if there is another page in the pagination or not. What is the ID to get the second page, for instance? This is where it's missing the previous page. And there are information also about the total count of records. It's basically this. It's basically about pagination and number of records. So, well, that's a good question. I couldn't answer without looking at the documentation. But as you can see, just by navigating the documentation in the tool, you can easily see what else is available in the API. I think we're done. Okay, we are out of time, so I can take some other question outside if you want. Well, anyway, thank you for coming to my session.
What we've seen is that there is market overload. People are buying really expensive technology, but they're really not making the most out of it.
We want to show people can strategize now to plan for the future and plan to kickstart those projects.